welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. On today's episode, what I'm going to be talking about is why we can't just snap out of anxiety. Why does it take a long time to heal your anxiety? And this is very good to have in the back of your mind and to continuously remember, like, hey, anxiety does take time to overcome. It's not a 1, 2, 3 thing. It's going to take me some time. I have to be patient. And this way, we are not going to be disappointed in ourselves whenever we do have setbacks, whenever we are not able to, it seems like we are not able to achieve what we want. And I'm going to explain to you the scientific, the back end of why it takes time for you to overcome. Now, we have to understand, why do we have anxiety in the first place? The reason why is because from years and years and years of pressure, stress, and worry, and it can happen from something big. It can happen from a certain way you grew up and certain way of, thinking and believing. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it's from years and years and years of stress, worry, and pressure that eventually affected the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic nervous system controls your stress, worry, and pressure. It handles it, and also your anxiety. So whenever you do feel anxious, it's able to filter out, it's able to control the anxiety. Now, what's happening with you right now, also happened with me, is that the sympathetic nervous system right now is on overdrive. It's not working properly. So whenever we're feeling anxious, or while we're feeling anxious 24/7, is because the sympathetic nervous system cannot handle the anxiety anymore. It cannot control the fight and fight mode. And whenever you do feel pressure, stress, and worry, this is why your anxiety increases in the first place. But the whole entire thing over here is that your sympathetic nervous system is on overdrive. And this is why we are having such a hard time to overcome our anxiety, to just snap out of it. And this is why it's not possible to just snap out of it, and it will take time. This is the reason why, because again, the sympathetic nervous system is not operating correctly. So, okay, now we have the answer. Now we know why we can't just snap out of it, because our sympathetic nervous system right now is on overdrive. We need to heal it. And that takes time, just like a broken leg, just like a broken bone. It takes time to heal. Same thing with our nervous system. Now, how can we do that, right? How can we heal our sympathetic nervous system? What can we do in order to start feeling much better? That, just like whenever you have a broken bone, right, you have to put on a cast, you have to do physical therapy, you need to treat it correctly, you can't put pressure on it, whatever it is, in order to heal that bone, whatever it is in your body. Same thing with the sympathetic nervous system. There is a way to heal it. The way to heal is taking off the stress, taking off the pressure, taking off the worry. Now, some people have a hard time doing this. Like, Emmanuel, I've been thinking like this most of my life, which makes sense. It definitely does make sense. Like, hey, listen, I am just used to thinking this way. I am just used to operating this way. So this is why we need to start learning how to handle stress and pressure and worry, and maybe take a break. Maybe take a break from whatever is causing us to feel that way. It can be a person, it can be our job, it can be a place, whatever it is, we need that break. And on top of that, you may have not realized that there are certain things in our lives that affected us, and we need to go back. And this is what I do in my sessions, that we work on the subconscious mind, which provides all that you need, meaning it helps you to heal the past situation. So whatever past situation you've been through, whatever past situation whatever you experienced, you are healing that, which takes off the stress and the worry and pressure. And on top of that, at the same time, you are starting to think differently. You are thinking the way you are thinking right now is because of your past experiences, is because of your subconscious mind. That's why, and what we need to do is reprogram that. So whenever we reprogram, you are basically getting all that you need in order to start feeling much better. And this takes time. This takes time. I know recently I've been dealing with somebody who has been experiencing anxiety for the past year and a half. And the reason why this person has anxiety is because they smoked weed, and what happened is that triggered their anxiety. So for a year and a half, he was struggling with anxiety, and all of a sudden that person snapped out of it. He's like, you know what? I feel so good. I'm not having anxiety anymore. Then 6 months later, he has anxiety again. It's like, okay, but why? So I asked him, like, okay, what did you do in the first time that you snapped out of it? What was it? He's like, I don't remember. I'm like, that's the problem. Anxiety, it's not something you just snap out of it. You can't just get out of it. You need to work on yourself. And whenever we started to work on the subconscious mind, there were so many things from his childhood that started to pop up and started to flood him. It's like, oh my God, I remember this. Oh my God, I remember that. I remember this. I remember that. And it's like, I remember how scared I used to be. I used to be terrified when those situations happened. And it affected me. I remember that. Like, I would hold it in for a while. I'm like, do you see how that past event, and I'm not going to go into details exactly what it was, but he's like, do you see what the past event, how it can affect you today? How it can affect you with your anxiety today? It's because since you were a kid, you've been dealing with stress, worry, and pressure, and nobody provided you with the support emotionally and mentally in order for you to feel much better, in order for you to feel protected. So what happened is that your anxiety stepped in order to protect you, but that's been doing that for such a long time whenever you weren't really in danger. And listen, sometimes the person was in danger. It wasn't that all the time he wasn't, and that's normal. That's normal, but there are other times he would just fear the person. And there's nothing really to fear, nothing was really happening. And it wasn't even against him. It was against someone else. But the whole thing was that he was fearing it. He was scared of it. So his anxiety, nobody was there in order to help him to calm down, to feel much better. And what happened is that he smoked weed, and the sympathetic nervous system couldn't handle it because he would get paranoid also when he was high. And he couldn't handle it anymore, and it just went on overdrive. And he's like, I'm exhausted. That's what it is. The sympathetic nervous system is exhausted to handle your anxiety. It needs a break. It cannot handle the stress, worry, and pressure that you have for so many years. It's a lot. Again, you have to understand we're human. We're human at the end of the day. And we can only handle so much. So what I started to do with this person is that I started to do subconscious exercises and started to heal. But the person is not patient enough in order to heal their anxiety. And that can affect somebody. That does affect. And I understand where he's coming from. I remember being in his shoes. I remember how it is. I want to get out of here. Today, I want to get out of this situation. Today, not tomorrow. I don't want to work on it. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is. And I know how hard it is for you guys going through this and just wanting to live a better life, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. That's going to keep you moving forward. It's going to keep you motivated. But the thing is that it's going to take time to heal the sympathetic nervous system. And I always say the best way is doing the subconscious exercise, because you're going to the source of the issue. And what you're doing is I'm providing the child the emotional and mental support that it needed so that it could be a child, so that it could be this fun and happy person. So that way the anxiety since he was a kid didn't have to operate 24/7 in order to protect him. But just like a broken leg, a broken bone, whatever it is, takes time to heal, same thing with our anxiety. It will take time to heal, but don't think that if we just sit back, if we don't take any action, that it's going to happen. It's because of the mindset and the situations that we have gone through that has brought us to this point of experiencing anxiety. That's what's happened, and we need to heal that. Of course, there is other aspects that we need to do, the physical part, the spiritual part, because human beings are four things. They have the mental, they have the mind, the emotional part, they have the spiritual part, and also the physical part. And we need all four of them to work together in order for us to feel much better. But what I always start with the foundation. If our foundation in a building, house, isn't solid, we cannot build anything on top of it. Everything that we will build will crumble, will break at the end of the day. But if we have a solid foundation, a strong foundation, we will be able to build skyscrapers with no problem whatsoever. The hardest part is building the foundation. That's the hardest part, and it will take time. It will take time to heal that and to fix that and to provide and to build a proper foundation. And for us to heal the sympathetic nervous system, because trust me, once you start healing the sympathetic nervous system and you start working on your mindset to take off the stress, the worry, and pressure, knowing how to handle it properly, the right way, we are able to handle things in the future, whatever it is, whatever situation comes up, we are able to handle it in a much better way, in a much healthier way. And this way, guys, this is one of the reasons why I don't have anxiety. This is one of the reasons why I don't experience anxiety for over 9 years, coming up to 10 years. I even lost count sometimes. I lose count. But it's been a very long time I don't experience anxiety. It's because of this, because I changed my foundation. It's because I changed the mindset and how I thought of things and how I see things. So that way I can start feeling much better. But it starts with the patience. Understand, like, you know what? This is going to take time. It's going to take time because, again, the situation is that I've been dealing with stress, worry, and pressure for so many years. I have a certain mindset that I need to change, which is going to take time. And I know that it sucks. So whenever I do have a setback, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to get myself down. I'm going to understand, like, hey, listen, I am working towards healing my anxiety, but healing just like a broken bone or just like anything else that takes time to do, to build, right? Because we're building over here. It's going to take some time. But at the end of the day, I'm going to finish. And I think that I am going to heal the sympathetic nervous system. I do recommend doing this exercise, the subconscious one. If you are interested, I do provide a free 30-minute free consultation where you can ask more questions about it, get more clarity, how it works, what we can do. And also, if you have any questions about anxiety, you can ask me as well. I'll answer that for you in the 30-minute free consultation. I will link the link below so you can click on that and set it up. But to conclude, at the end of the day, it's going to take you some time to heal your sympathetic nervous system, to heal your anxiety and overcome this thing. But eventually, the good news is that with work and with time, you'll have a more solid foundation and feel much better for a long-lasting relief. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people, and the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.